I've played Pokemon for a good few years now, but I've never done a Nuzlocke all on my own. I've never done anything like that on my own, just played the vanilla games. So I've decided to go into Pokemon Firered and do a Randomizer Nuzlocke. So let's see how far I can go. So I started up the game, named my character, and named my rival Monty after one of my friends, so that if I ever lose to him during the run, I can blame him in real life. After doing so, I made it to the starters. Alrighty then, we're at the starters. Let's pick what we got. Magby, okay. Glalie, okay. And Corsola. Okay. After some thinking, I decided to go with Magby. I named it Cole, and then started to leave the lab, only for the rival to then stop me to want to do it in our first rival battle. As the fight begun, it suddenly clicked in my head. The rival had picked the water-type Corsola, who was super effective against my fire-type Magby. I started to panic. That burn is doing me the favors. Never mind, a crit has happened. I'm so dead. Crit has 100 chance of missing. Oh! Oh my god! Cole! You did it! Cole, you mad lad. Oh, not even close. I so got this. Oh my god, I almost died. After that super easy battle, the professor had sent me to the next city in order to get him a parcel. Whilst going through the grass, I saw some amazing Pokemon that would be excellent on the team, and I was super excited to see what I would get. So I dropped off the parcel, received my Pokeballs and Pokédex, and the Nuzlocke had officially begun. And I ran straight into the first bit of grass to get my first awesome encounter, which was... Oh, that's just not funny. After that abysmal encounter, I went on to check out the other routes available to me at the time, and my luck incredibly increased. With me finding Linoone, which I promptly named Demon, a Lunatone, which I named Moonshine, and a Rapidash, which I named Spirit. After battling my way through Viridian Forest and all of the bug catchers, I finally made my way to Pewter City. Now, I didn't go to challenge Brock straight away, simply because the team was not strong enough, and I had to train them up a bit. There is an extra rule in this I put in for myself called a level cap. In this case, the current gym, I cannot go higher than their Pokemon's level. In this case, 12. After some time of grinding and some scary encounters, a ladybug just defeated Groudon. I finally was ready to take on Brock. Alright then, Brock. Let's do this. The battle started off with Brock sending out Shelgon and me sending out Moonshine. I was fearful Shelgon would have Dragon Rage, which would put me in a sticky situation, but luckily Moonshine managed to handle it with a couple of confusions. Brock's next Pokemon was Smoochum, which Cole easily took out with a couple of Embers. His final Pokemon was Vulpix, and I sent in Demon. After bashing Vulpix's skull in with some headbutts, the battle was mine and the first gym badge was mine. The Boulder Badge! Yay! I win! I continued my adventure onto Route 3, where I battled multiple trainers and got my encounter there, which ended up being a Walrein, a perfect tanky Pokemon that I added to the team, calling it Mrs. Flint, after that walrus thing from Ice Age 3.
Oh, look at him! Where's my booty? Has anyone seen it?
I continued on to traverse through Mount Moon. As I did, I got super annoyed throughout all the Pokemon and the trainers, even a scary moment with a Mewtwo that had speed boost. However, for a lot of blood, sweat, and tears, and a fossil, I finally got out of Mount Moon. Oh my god, I'm free. I am free. I'm free. Almost immediately after entering Vermilion City, I went to fight my rival, as I felt very confident in the team I had. Oh how wrong was I. Okay, Moonshine carried me to victory.
Oh no, oh no, oh no, 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 no.
I thought they were so much weaker. Monty's first Pokemon was Huntail. Scared of its water attacks, I switched out Moonshine and put in Demon to do some headbutt damage. Unfortunately, the Huntail had rough skin. I had no choice but to just keep headbutting away until I did something. Unfortunately, this happened. Uh-oh. I sent in Spirit to do quick attack damage and finally beat the Huntail. And then there was the rest of the team. The next Pokemon was Corsola, which I had sent in Moonshine to try and do some confusion damage, as it was my best move at the time. Unfortunately, due to its water attacks, I had to heal stall and confusion out. Very scared since I was running very low on healing items. The next Pokemon was Larvitar, but yet again, I was scared of Bite. So I had to switch into Coal to try and poison it with Smog. Luckily, I got the poison, but then it used Sandstorm. So I decided to put Moonshine back in to have no damage from the Sandstorm, and simply heal stall the Larvitar out. Raichu was the next Pokemon to appear, which its Thunderbolts did a scary amount of damage to Moonshine. All I could do was confusion and heal stall again until it was beat. But luckily, the gods descended upon me and gave me Nidorina, which was one confusion until the end of the battle. Oh, oh my god, Monty, you almost ended this. Oh, I just had the smallest heart attack. What more do you... I don't care about fame. I care about my poor little ticker. Goodbye, Demon. Goodbye, Marinette. You two have done me a service. Oh, God. After that terrifying encounter, I knew my underleveled team had to power up quickly. So I powered through Route 24 to train against all of the trainers, catching a Pinsir along the way, until I went all the way to Bill's house. Instead of him, I found a Clefairy, which turned out to be Bill fused with it, helped him unfuse, but what happened to the Clefairy? And obtained the SS and ticket. Afterwards, I went straight to challenge Misty. Her first Pokemon was Lairon, to which I led with Spirit and melted it away. The second Pokemon was Nidoran, and to which Moonshine blasted it away with one confusion. And the final Pokemon was Kadabra, which I flattened with Mrs. Flint. The second gym badge was mine. Now that the second badge was obtained, I headed south of Vermilion City. I dropped off the Pinsir I caught earlier to train it up. The way the daycare works is every step I take in the overworld, the Pokemon in the daycare gains 1 XP point. So, this is what I had to do.
Gotta go fast. Gotta go fast. Gotta go faster, 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 faster.
After about 5 minutes of 10 times speed up, I got Pinsir on par with the rest of the team. I continued on through the underground passageway towards Vermilion City, catching a Natu on Route 6 and calling it Newt Newt. After getting into Vermilion City, I went to all the new available areas where I could get encounters, with all of them being kind of underwhelming and nothing really new to add to the team. I boarded the SS Anne to explore a bit, and unfortunately ran into Monty. After the last battle we did, I was admittedly nervous, and I braced for a tough fight. Oh my god, that was the easiest fight. Well, that was easy, I guess. Nice. After completely flattening Monty's team, I proceed to head up the stairs and meet the C6 ship captain, in rubbing his back and obtaining the HM for Cut. I continued to leave to train up the team a bit, but unfortunately I forgot something very important. The ship leaves after I get cut. Oh no! I forgot it leaves! Oh no, I'm so used to it! Oh no! I forgot as soon as I get cut it leaves because the captain's better. I thought it was like Infinite Fusion where it just sticks there forever. Oh no! Oh no! The ship set sail. Don't tell me that. Oh no! I could have gotten some TMs and money and training out of the. Oh no! Heading back to the Vermilion City gym, I proceeded to do what I think is the most annoying gym puzzle I have ever done. And that means it's this one! How? I hate this gym so much. After shifting through piles of trash, I finally found the 2 switches to unlock the gate and went through to battle Lieutenant Surge. The battle with Lieutenant Surge started off a bit rough, with him sending in Kangaskhan while I sent in Moonshine. I immediately put the Kangaskhan to sleep and continued to beat it with Confusion and the Rock Throw. Unfortunately, as it got into the health, it ate a berry, which upped its special defense, and Lieutenant Surge healed it. With my attacks doing nothing, I decided to switch in Mrs. Flint, who immediately one-shot it with a body slam. The next Pokemon was Cacnea, who I sent in Spirit, who one-shot it with a simple Ember. Next was Diglett, which Mrs. Flint completely washed away with a singular Water Pulse. And finally, there was, Vaporeon. What's Surge be doing with this Vaporeon? Anyways, Mrs. Flint again one-shot at the Vaporeon with a body slam, allowing me to obtain my 3rd gym badge. Heading back up to Vermilion City, I headed east onto Route 9. As I was battling my way through the trainers, I ran into this one bug catcher who casually had Celebi, the god of time, a Regice, who almost killed Spirit with an explosion. Oh, no! Oh! Oh, no. Anyway, after battling my way through the rest of Route 9, I got into Rock Tunnel. For my encounter, I ran into my own Regice, which I was so excited about. I love the Regis, I love how cool they are, and now I finally get to... Oh no. Okay, damn it. Moving on. Traversing through Rock Tunnel brought me no real threats. I felt comfortable training up the weaker members of the team against the trainers. That was until this. Come on, Nunu, live! No! No, Nunu! Uh-oh. No! I thought Nunu could live. Powering through the final trainers of Rock Tunnel, I finally made it to Lavender Town. Then I went west towards Celadon City and got an encounter of a Charmeleon and made the big decision to put him on the team instead of Cole. Cole, you've been an amazing team member, but I think it's time we said goodbye and say hello to Leon. Sorry, Cole, it's not you, it's me. I needed to train up the new members before the gym, and as I was doing so, I found the HM for Fly, but as I was returning to the city, I ran into some trainers that I avoided earlier, and... mistakes, like... Ew.
Oh my god!
What? After the last bits of training, it was time to take on the gym leader Erica, and this is how it went. The battle began with Erica sending in Masquerain, and me sending in Mrs. Flint. I started off with a body slam, putting it in the red health, and Masquerain using Sweet Scent. I went for one more body slam, with Erica healing it back up to full health, but it didn't matter as I crit it with a body slam. The second Pokemon was Relicath, I can never pronounce the name. I decided to leave Mrs. Flint in for a body slam, but it did less damage than I expected, and Relicath used Yawn. I tried to use Aurora Beam to see if that did more, which, no, it didn't. And what's worse, Relicath's Rock Tomb did a scary amount of damage to Mrs. Flint. With Mrs. Flint falling asleep, I decided to switch in for Moonshine, in anticipating another Rock Tomb. No, it used Yawn. So I had to use Confusion with the remaining turn I had. Afterwards, I undid the sleep with an Awakening, did one more Confusion, and then Relicath was down. The third Pokemon was Seadra. I sent back out Mrs. Flint, woke her up with an item, and powered through the smokescreen and flinches to kill it with a couple body slams. The final Pokemon... the final beast. Something so terrifying that tests even the best Pokemon trainers. I thought it was the end for me. I thought it could kill us all. And now I'm just getting it's Taylor. There we go. I win! Yippee! Oh yeah, the 4th gym badge is mine. And now to gambling. Excuse me, sir. What are you doing here? You look mighty sir. Ah! I'm sorry, I was just asking questions. I explored through the Rocket Base a bit in order to find the key to the elevator and finding out just how good Team Rocket has gotten. I don't remember where this key is for the life of me. Oh, hello there! Oh, God. Oh, no. Right. Wait, what? So you guys are, like, selling Pokemon, and one of the grunts just casually has Mewtwo. After a good amount of time, I finally found the key and took on the boss, Giovanni. You're the boss, killing baby Marowak's mothers and selling off Pokemon, and for some reason giving your employee a Mewtwo. You, sir, have bad business practices, and I will put a stop to it, here and now. His team was nothing to worry about, as Mrs. Flint just carried throughout the battle yet again. It was at this point I knew I could not rely on Mrs. Flint any longer. Because if she was to die, then the rest of the team would be absolutely buggered, and I wouldn't know what to do. And so, it was time for our favourite thing all over again. Running up and down a corridor.
Gotta go fast. Gotta go fast. Gotta go faster, 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 faster.
After about half an hour or so of getting my Pokemon to at least the same area of where I want everyone else to be, I went back to Lavender Town, went into the Pokemon Tower where Monty was waiting for me. The battle with Monty was nothing of noteworthy, just the facts of Mrs. Flint yet again carrying us through. I continued to ascend throughout the Pokemon Tower, helped an old man with Team Rocket, which he gave me a flute, which I finally got to put my nursery flute practice into play, to wake up a sleeping camera and move it out of my path. I continued down south and got into Fuchsia City. Straight away I went to the Safari Zone and caught a Chikorita along the way. But I was not paying attention and forgot to name it. So, oopsies. After a bit of thinking, I thought it was finally time to change up the team properly and get the right coverage I needed. So, with a heavy heart, I put Spirit and Powder into the box and replaced them with Chikorita and a Shuppet I caught earlier, calling it Puppet. With both of them being so low level, I had to do my favourite method again.
Gotta go fast. Gotta go fast. Gotta go faster, 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 faster.
After another hour of running about, the team was fully leveled up and evolved, ready to take on Koga. The battle with Koga started off simple, with him sending a Nidoqueen and me putting in Moonshine. Moonshine then immediately got hit with Poison Sting and poisoned, but I managed to finish off with a single confusion. The next Pokemon was Octillery, which Mrs. Flynn happily flattened with a couple of body slaps. Medicham got swept away with a fly, but then came in Snorlax. I sent in Pinhead so that it could use Brick Break, which did less damage than I wanted, while Snorlax took more than half. I decided to chance it with one more Brick Break, but Snorlax lived and killed Pinhead with one more Body Slam. In response to Body Slam, I sent in Leon to intimidate it to weaken the Body Slam. I then went on to attack it, but Koga healed. The attack I did less damage than I wanted it to. Let me tell you this now. To save all of what I did and what Koga did, this battle lasted for 10 minutes. 10 full minutes of this Pokemon resting, using Sleep Talk and Snore. It was painful. Everything was painful. So after all that time, I sent in Miss Flint to get Water Pulse and get the Pokemon confused, which worked, and I finally defeated the Snorlax. Only for the next Pokemon to be... by stupid resting Snorlax. Oh, that's just mean! What? Why? I felt confident Mrs. Flint could take on some of Pinsir's attacks, with the HP it had left, so I continued using ice moves, only for Pinsir to hit Guillotine. No! 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 I had now lost 2 Pokemon to this gym battle, so I sent in Leon to do Fly, which lived with a tiny amount, and Revenge, almost killing Leon. I had enough and brought in Meganium to activate Sandstream to kill the Pinsir like that. The 5th gym badge was mine, but at a heavy cost. I went back to the Pokemon Center to put our fallen teammates to rest, and to pull out some new ones of Shrantru, which I named Wet Sand, as it had Water Veil, and Jelly the Tentacool, and, once again, our good old favorite method of running up and down a hallway. Never again will I play Firered for this reason. I flew to Saffron City and immediately stormed the Silph building that had been taken over by Team Rocket. As I was making my way through, I ran into Monty, who wanted to battle. His team was laughable with Pokemon such as Beautifly and Togetic, and I easily beat them and went to face Giovanni. Giovanni gave me a bit of trouble with his Latias, but the rest of the team happily fell down and the battle was in the bag. After obtaining the one Master Ball Silph had made, I headed to the 6th gym, which, with some luck of guesswork, I got through to the gym, in leader Sabrina. To which my team swept hers completely. I was feeling good. After a lot of unlucky guesswork of getting out of the gym...
Oh. Wait, no. It was this one. I'm free!
I immediately set my sights on the 7th gym. Getting to Cinnabar Island, I went and found the key to open up the gym in the old mansion. I took on some questions and answered all of them correctly, like a pro.
Easy.
Oh, and went on to battle Blaine. Blaine was the easiest gym I've had so far, with Moonshine just solo beating all of Blaine's Pokemon and obtaining me the 7th badge. After exiting the gym, I ran into Bill, who offered to take me to the Sevi Islands. I decided to go in order to get some new encounters. As I travelled through the islands, the encounters were a mixed variety and honestly got me thinking about who I wanted on my final team. After completing everything on the Sevi Islands and giving the meteorite to the old man, I headed back to Kanto for the 8th gym. The gym trainers were a simple win and I came to the shocking discovery to who the final gym leader was.
The final gym leader is Giovanni. I did not see that coming, like at all. I am bamboozled.
The battle begun with Giovanni sending in Gloom and me sending in Moonshine. With one psychic later, Gloom was dead, and the same was said for the next Pokemon, Bellsprout. The 3rd Pokemon was Bayonet, which Leon took out with a couple of flamethrowers. The 4th Pokemon was Deoxys, but got squashed by Meganium. Jelly came in and took out the Jinx, and then put the Moltres on red HP, which got taken out by the Sandstream that the Bayonet had set up earlier. The final gym badge was mine. As I began to trek to the Pokemon League with Monty stopping me to battle, his team was easy to handle, with the only note being why not, which I just did chip damage with Sandstream and Burns, switching between my Pokemon to avoid Destiny Bond. The trip to the Pokemon League was uneventful. I got to the Indigo League within 10 minutes, but it was then I decided not to go straight for the Elite Four, and wanted to make sure I had the best possible team I had. So with this decision, I decided to go across the entire region and get all the encounters I missed, and also find some special birds. You see, when I set up this run, I made it so that all static legendaries would still be legendary. So I had the chance to get Rayquaza, Mewtwo, Ho-Ho, and oh dear. As I tried to catch the Registeel, it nearly killed Leon, so I decided to kill it rather than losing any of my Pokemon. I continued on to the Sea Form Islands to encounter Articuno, which ended up randomizing into a Mew. Just a fun little fact, this is the first time I've ever encountered Mew, so I was super excited to see it, and even more when I caught it.
This is my first time ever actually owning a Mew.
The final Pokemon was Moltres, to which I headed back to the Sevi Islands, climbed Mount Nempa, and found Moltres, which randomized into a Latios, which I immediately Master Balled. I headed back to the Indigo League, and began to put together the ultimate team. After almost an hour of thinking, debating, and even more training, I had the ultimate team ready. Leon the Charizard, Meganium the Meganium, Jelly the Tentacruel, Shocker the Ampharos, Jet the Latios, and, Smoochy Poo the Jinx. Look, I'm just as uncomfortable as you are, but I needed the Ice type, so here it is. And so, with this near all-star team, I was ready for the Elite Four. The first battle was with Lorelei, with her team posing no threat to me in the slightest, with all of her Pokemon easily falling, one after the other. The next battle was Bruno. His first two Pokemon were easily handled, until Slacking came in. I chose to keep in Shocker so that I could use Thunder Wave to paralyze it, and to use Brick Break. Brick Break did less than I wanted, but it was the perfect amount for Slacking's counter to work and kill Shocker. After that heartbreaking loss, I put Meganium in to activate Sandstream and to help chip at Slacking. I also used Giga Drain to avoid the counter. After a little bit of work, Slacking was finally down, and the final Pokemon was Vileplume, which Leon incinerated Flamethrower. The third Elite Four member was Agatha, which Meganium and Jelly Giga Drained and surfed everything away. On to the final Elite Four member, Lance, which my whole team got to take on everything without a problem. The Pokemon Champion now awaits. This was it. All my work had come to this moment. All the deaths. No! 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 The encounters. The terrifying trainers I had to face. It all came down to this final battle. Here we go. One way or another, this ends now.
Hey, Monty, old friend. Let's begin, shall we? The final battle is now.
The battle began with Monty sending in a Lantern, to which I answered with Meganium. Battling through some confusion and hitting itself, I killed it with Giga Drain. Next was Grumpig. I kept Meganium in and decided to full restore, but on that same turn, Grumpig used Bounce. I decided to switch Meganium for Jet in order to do some Dragon Claw damage, but Grumpig put itself to sleep using Rest. I used this time to use Dragon Dance in order to up Latios' speed and attack, and finally chipped away the Grumpig. The third Pokemon was Persian. Jet got faked out, and losing some health to Persian and the Sandstorm, I healed up Jet and used Dragon Claw to put the Persian to rest for good, thanks to a crit. Slowbro was the next Pokemon. It kept using Amnesia to up its defenses, to which I decided to use a few more Dragon Dances to try and help with the damage. That, along with Sandstream, was doing a lot of chip damage. However, the panic set in when Slowbro used Psych Up, a move that copies all of the opponent's Pokemon stat changes. This meant Slowbro had copied all of my attack and speed boosts, making it a +4. This meant if it knew Body Slam, it could just kill my whole team. But thankfully it didn't, and with some more chip damage, Slowbro finally fell to Sandstream. The next Pokemon was Venusaur, to which I sent in Leon. I used Flamethrower to get it down to red HP, however, just as I was about to finish it, Monty switched to Corsola, to which I happily responded with Meganium and simply Giga Drained the Corsola away. Venusaur was always sent back out, and Leon easily beat it with one final move. I had done it. I had won my Pokemon Firered Randomizer Nuzlocke.
Day! It can't be! I win! I win! I win! Oh my god, I did it! But these are the members that got me through the final. All I have to say is, thank you so much for watching my very first video on YouTube. I hope you enjoyed it, and I'm so sorry for all my awkwardness. Goodbye.